Humanity is unquestionably a young species, having only recently achieved complete sovereignty over the Earth. For many millions of years, there appears to be no species capable of wresting this sovereignty from humans or succeeding us. Humans have a lengthy destiny ahead of them, spanning hundreds of millions of years, barring unforeseeable and implausible disasters that would annihilate the species to the last individual. Or more specifically, not humans as they are today, but the myriad species that will emerge from them. It is extremely unlikely that the species' current features would remain locked in time or evolve in a single direction. Can anyone truly imagine what humanity will be like in 10 million, 100 million, or even more years? Nonetheless, there is no question that these years will pass. What will happen to humanity during this long period? It will evolve without a doubt. But how exactly? Will people direct their own evolution toward a predefined goal? Or will they be able to halt their evolution once they have reached a satisfactory stage? I am quite doubtful about these topics. Natural selection has been adjusting and reassembling our bodies for 4 billion years, guiding us from amoebas to reptiles, mammals, and Homo sapiens. However, there is no reason to suppose that Homo sapiens is the ultimate goal. Some very slight alterations in our genes, hormones, and a neurological structure were enough to transform Homo erectus, who could only create flint knives, into Homo sapiens capable of building space shuttles and computers. So where could changes in our DNA, hormone system, or brain structure take us in the near future? Let us find out together. Hello everyone, welcome back to Zeey. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to receive our daily videos. A recent study aimed to predict the anatomical changes we would experience as a result of excessive smartphone and computer use. In summary, we may all be hunched, small without necks and with claw-like hands in a few generations. It's not a pretty sight. But this was mostly a provocation, a thought experiment aimed to make us consider our relationship with technology. This is not how the evolutionary process works. There were once two major schools of thought about how evolution worked. To demonstrate its distinctive qualities, consider a simplified but not wholly inaccurate account of Darwin's theory of evolution. Consider a population of mammoths that existed in Siberia at a period of temperate climate prior to the advance of the glaciers. The amount of hair covering these elephants' bodies, according to Darwin, would vary purely by chance. When the ice melts and local conditions worsen, mammoths with thicker hair are more likely to survive and, as a result, have more progeny. Because offspring inherit the amount of hair from their parents, mammoths with thicker fur, which will continue to be favored by natural selection as long as the tendency toward cooler climates remains, will represent an even bigger percentage in the next generation. This process, in which the average amount of hair rises, can continue for many generations, resulting in the creation of a species of robust, woolly mammoths that are well adapted to frigid temperatures. However, according to Lamarck, the amount of hair covering the mammoths' bodies would not fluctuate arbitrarily. Only mammoths with thicker hair will emerge as the ice advances and local conditions get harsher as the environment influences the path of mutations. At this moment, all mammoths will have thicker fur and pass this trait on to their descendants as generations pass. History eventually supported Darwin's theory, which is why we should not accept people who predict that future humans would have weak and skinny legs as a result of cars and sedentary lifestyles. Individual qualities are not passed on from parent to kid directly, but are filtered by the survival of the fittest. As a result, we will only have slim legs if they provide an obvious survival advantage. Given this, forecasting the arrival of humans in the following millennia becomes practically impossible because it is hard to foretell the environmental conditions that will push evolution in one direction or another, right? No, that's incorrect. This is because the human species is no longer susceptible to natural selection laws. Even now it is capable of fixing and improving practically all parts of its own body without having to rely on natural selection. So how will the humans of the future look? Will their eyes be bigger and their fingers be longer? What number and sort of teeth will they have? Will they have no hair? What characteristics will they modify or adapt? The solution is simple: future humans will be whoever they want to be. Genetic engineering will be capable of altering the ancient Homo sapiens body, rewriting its genetic code and reprogramming its metabolic equilibrium in the not-too-distant future, though, in truth, change is already beginning. Biomedical engineering will advance us by grafting non-organic instruments onto the organic body, such as bionic hands, artificial eyes, or millions of nanorobots traveling our bloodstream to diagnose and repair harm. An android body with such powers may outperform any organic organism. After all, humans have been compensating for the loss of legs and hands for millennia by attaching rudimentary mechanical appendages to their bodies that fulfill equivalent jobs in some fashion. The spectrum of physical impairments that can be compensated for by mechanical devices is quickly expanding as technology advances, and there is a deliberate attempt to replace increasingly complicated components of the human body. The earliest primitive attempts in this area were eyeglasses, hearing aids, pacemakers, artificial kidneys, artificial lungs, and so on. But we are already well on our way to producing artificial limbs that can be directly controlled by the brain system rather than the muscular system. In a few years, blind individuals may restore their sight with electronic gadgets directly attached to the optic nerves. Artificial hearts, kidneys, and exoskeletons enabling paraplegics to walk are also under development. Naturally, these organs are implanted to replace their organic equivalents that can no longer execute their tasks. However, very soon, within a century, technological perfection will be accomplished to such an extent that many people would prefer these artificial organs over their own, even if they are healthy. These items might sound like science fiction, yet they are already a reality. Recently, some monkeys have learned to manipulate artificial hands and feet not connected to their bodies, due to electrodes placed in their brain masses. Some paraplegic persons can manipulate artificial limbs or operate computers entirely via the power of thinking. If you choose, you may already remotely operate the electrical appliances in your home using a special helmet, which is already available on the market. This device does not necessitate brain implants. It works by reading the electrical impulses that flow through your head. To turn on the kitchen light, simply put on the helmet and envision a pre-programmed mental signal, such as your right hand moving, and the switch will illuminate the room. Several hundred employees of a Swedish corporation, who volunteered, had microchips implanted in their hands at the start of 2015. These rice-sized chips hold individualized security information that allows workers to enter doors and run photocopiers with a simple hand gesture. Inevitably, highly complex mechanical organs will gradually replace the entire human body with the exception, of course, of the brain, which is the essential essence of an individual. All of these organs are created to replace 6 sections of otherwise condemned creatures. When faced with the option of death, an increasing percentage of people will choose to replace their complete original bodies and live as just a brain, nourished and served by a mechanical organism. Furthermore, these mechanical organs will achieve such perfection and efficiency that many people, even if they are healthy, will prefer them over their own organs. These organs and bionic prosthesis will be built in such a way that they can analyze, receive, and transmit messages in the same language as the brain. The brain will learn to use them directly without the need for intermediaries. In essence, we shall create mechanical beings that will be obedient to human brains. To optimize its powers, the brain will inevitably demand that a plethora of organs and sensors be directly under its control. Humans currently employ tools such as microscopes, telescopes, radios, televisions, various labor tools, computers, cars, airplanes, and so on to do specialized tasks and compensate for shortcomings in their bodies. These instruments are of course independent from the human body, but the brain employs them via the muscles and the 5 senses. Once these intermediates are removed, the brain will have direct control over all of these tools. The mechanical organism that supports and serves the brain will be enhanced with a plethora of very complex equipment and instruments that the brain will be able to employ as its own senses. For us poor flesh and blood people, such a person will wield inconceivable power. Their attention will smoothly travel from the very close to the very far. They will use infrared rays to see in the dark, radar waves to navigate through fog and sound or radio transmissions to communicate. They will receive and send photos, as well as store a massive amount of data and images in their auxiliary electronic storage. Most significantly, because their brains will be fully protected and they will have unlimited mobility, they will be able to exist in any environment, even space. This will result in the emergence of a new hybrid species with unfathomable developmental and expansion potential. This species will be exempt from the physical and environmental limits that traditional living beings face. It will have almost no obstacles to colonizing other worlds, such as ones without an atmosphere or with extremely low temperatures, which would be unfriendly to people with their original body form. The thought of such a species may look unduly science-fictional, but unless existing trends change dramatically, the first individuals of this human race destined for a magnificent future will begin to appear very soon. The first cyborgs may already be among us. Everyone with a mechanical organ is an unsuspecting pioneer. Laboratories around the world are laboring tirelessly, albeit unwittingly, to launch this new species. Even in the pursuit of bioengineering, a race will most likely try to keep a human appearance, albeit aesthetically enhanced. This will save us from the bleak physical evolution indicated in the previous study. Instead of decades of slumped people addicted to computer screens, we may see generations of superhumans in the truest sense of the term. We can only hope. However, another major concern arises: overpopulation. The more people there are on Earth in the future, the more people will potentially be excluded from the race for technological immortality, providing the planet's geopolitics stay constant. This would almost certainly result in the emergence of an elite class of superhumans rather than widespread sharing of existing technical resources. This bionic revolution appears to be viable only if we can find a means to stabilize the global population within acceptable boundaries, in my opinion, no more than 2 billion people. The post-human condition would be the result of our species' evolution, a metamorphosis enabled by an alliance of ever-profound scientific knowledge capable of unraveling nature's mysteries and ever more powerful technical manipulation skills. This humanity would be vastly more intelligent, less fragile, longer-lived, richer and gifted with enhanced sensory capacities and physical powers. It would be an unrecognizable and now unfathomable humanity, but precisely because of this, if it happened, it would no longer be human. Alright everyone, that is all for this video. Thanks for watching. What are your predictions within 300 years? Please share your ideas in the comments below, and remember to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our daily videos.